Welcome into the Mardi Gras edition of Good Morning KU. I'm Nick Cousin.
And I'm Lauren Davidson.
Well, today's Mardi Gras. We're wearing our beads and purple, and it's a good day. Get to eat as much food as we want before the Lent season starts, and we can't really eat meat anymore. So it's pretty exciting stuff today.
Yeah.
And we had besides being happy about Mardi Gras, we're kind of a little bit upset too about last night's game. So tell us about what happened last night.
Big upset. Lost to West Virginia by 1 point. 1 point.
Yeah, on the last play of the game. Perry Ellis should have made that layup, but.
You think he should have made the layup, or should he have just went for a dunk?
I think he should have dunked it, to be honest with you. I mean, the layup was kind of a bad attempt, but I mean, he's an 1,000-point scorer. He got his 1,000 points on Saturday, so I can't say he's a bad player. He's probably one of the best in KU history, probably.
Yeah, I think it would have been helpful if we would have had Landon Lucas or Cliff in for the last couple seconds. Had a big guy down low. That way they couldn't just.
That's what we talked about before we came on today. Because that layup would never happen because he was a little guard, So Cliff could have rejected him, or Landon could have rejected him, and then it would be a different game. He could have come out the W.
Yeah.
But so you wanted to make your prediction of how far KU is going to go. I think it's a little bit too early, but
You think it's still too early?
I'll let you have the spotlight here. You tell me. You tell me where you think you want them to go.
It's less than 3 weeks until Selection Sunday, and I think that we have a pretty good idea of where we'll be able to go, especially after that last loss and the close game on Saturday.
Well, I think they're projected before the game to be a 2 seed, and I think if they won last night and won the rest of their games, they would have probably had the last number 1 seed. But I don't see them being maybe even a 2 seed now, but.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be the high 3 seed, or I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm thinking that they'll end up making it to Final Four is a possibility, but Elite 8, I think that's more likely at this point.
Yeah, we'll see how there's still a lot of basketball to be played. We have the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
They still have 5 Big 12 games left in the regular season. So, I mean, Bill Self's team, they haven't really been showing up as of late in March, but
No.
they've shown progression. As the year's gone on in November, they were terrible losing to Kentucky like that. But they're a different team now. I think they could compete with Kentucky now if they were to play them.
Yeah, I think one thing that's going to factor into it, though, is all of the young guys, how they handle the pressure, on such a big stage like March Madness. I don't know how they'll.
And injuries are going to be a big
compete.
factor. Last year we didn't have Embiid, so that kind of ruined our chances a little bit because, Wiggins couldn't really play without Embiid. But this year we're pretty healthy, don't have any injuries, so.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So I don't want to knock on wood here, but yeah. So I think Bill Self, he just has to figure out the right system where he can have Cliff come in there on defense, because Jamari is just not doing it. He's not a big enough body. So I mean, we'll see how it goes in March, but after the break we'll have our guest. They're going to talk more about Mardi Gras and how we talked about earlier. So we'll be right back after the break.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Haley McGavick, and I'm here with Kolter today to talk about some Mardi Gras stuff. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. He's from the Center for Community Outreach, and I'm just wondering what types of things you do in that.
Yeah. So the CCO, the Center for Community Outreach, basically is the service arm of Student Senate. We're essentially the community service hub at the university.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, so like I said, today's Mardi Gras, and it's kind of the last hoorah, I guess, before Lent begins tomorrow for Ash Wednesday. So how do you celebrate Fat Tuesday?
Yeah.
Really?
So, for example, I'm involved at the St. Lawrence Catholic Campus Center here on campus, and we're having a Fat Tuesday party this evening. There's going to be king cake and a bunch of desserts and a bunch of food.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's just going to kind of pig out.
Okay, that's awesome. So what's the meaning behind Ash Wednesday? I think people understand, get the ash on your forehead and stuff, but I guess, to go further into it from the more religious perspective.
Yeah. So Lent is a penitential season, so it's a time for penance, leading up to Easter, which is when we celebrate the resurrection of Christ. And so Ash Wednesday, we get the ashes on our foreheads, and that is a public sign of penance. It's kind of a way to begin a 40-day long season of penance.
Okay, and you, I'm trying to remember, because I used to celebrate a lot. You have to give something up, right, as part of it until Easter. Okay. So is Mardi Gras celebrated the same everywhere? I know there's some ideas of just like throwing the beads and stuff, but like, is it different in certain regions, or do you know more about it?
Yeah, I think that, obviously we probably celebrate it differently here in Lawrence, Kansas than they do in, New Orleans. I think it might be a little crazier down there, but I think for the most part it's pretty much the same across as far as the United States is concerned.
And we talked about it earlier, because everyone obviously recognizes beads as the main symbol for Mardi Gras. So what's kind of the history about them, and like what do they symbolize for the holiday? Yeah,
so they go all the way back to the 19th century with one of the French kings. He instituted the beads as a sign of royalty. And it started out as glass beads, and you can imagine that didn't fare too well,
not so much.
Throwing glass, and so that's when they changed to plastic.
Okay, well that seems a lot safer, and I feel more protected by that. But I guess to kind of end it a little bit, how do you plan on celebrating Mardi Gras, besides the awesome food that you're going to be getting tonight?
Yeah, unfortunately I'm going to be in class or meetings most of the day, and so I will try to go to the Mardi Gras party this evening and maybe just eat a little extra food.
Just a little. Okay, well Kolter, thank you so much for being here today. We'll be back after a quick break with the news.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kamenzind.
And I'm Jack Graham. This is your Tuesday Good Morning KU news update. The 139th Westminster Dog Show started yesterday and will continue throughout today. It is held in New York City, and the sporting, working, and terrier category will compete today. 2 new breeds have been added to this year's show, a Walker Coonhound and a Russell Terrier. The dog show can be seen on the USA Network.
And the Chinese New Year is coming up on Thursday, and this year's animal sign is a sheep. KU students didn't wait for the actual day to celebrate and held an event last Sunday in the Union Ballroom. Performances ranged from the traditional to the modern, from both young and old. Traditional food was served and a great time was had by all.
Meals on Wheels is now delivering pet food. The new service comes after the organization determined that many senior citizens couldn't afford pet food or couldn't get out to shop for it. According to the Kansas City Star, 1/4 of the Meals on Wheels recipients are pet owners who will now receive animal food.
Just in case you thought winter was over, this week will prove that it's not. Snow and cold temperatures have settled in and will be around for a while. We talked to some students walking to class about their feelings with the weather.
This isn't that bad yet, but I'm not looking forward to the colder weather to come. Although I do love the snow because I ski and snowboard, so it's always a plus. But typically I don't like it when it's cold out, so.
The KU football team will be one of the first college teams in the country to try out a new product that will help detect concussions. The Lawrence Journal-World reported that 80 players will receive impact-sensing mouth guards this spring. The guards will monitor hits taken by individual players in real time and can collect data to reveal trends across the entire season. These mouth guards cost almost $200 each, but the Jayhawks will be getting to try them out for free starting this spring.
And for more sports news, we'll have Dallas Milligan here after the break.
Studious, courteous, community service oriented. These are just a few ways to describe Sigma Pi fraternity. But don't take my word for it. Let's ask the president himself. Oh, excuse me. I didn't hear you come in. I'm Ryan Brinker, founding father and president of Beta Delta chapter of Sigma Pi here at the University of Kansas. We're one of the fastest growing Greek communities here on campus, and now we want you to be a part of us too. For more information, go to kusigmapi.com.
And I'm Dallas with sports. ESPN's Dick Vitale will not announce the Duke-North Carolina game on Wednesday night. Vitale has been announcing this particular matchup for the past 36 years. ESPN did not state why he is not announcing the game, but more will come of the story later. Vitale has been on the sidelines for the Duke-NC matchup since his arrival at ESPN in '79. Kansas basketball assistant coach Jerrance Howard was suspended for 2 weeks for being caught with marijuana in the summer of 2014. Head coach Bill Self suspended Howard after finding out last Wednesday about the charge. Howard will be able to return on February 28th when the Jayhawks will take on the Texas Longhorns. Last night, the men's basketball team lost 61-62 against number 23 ranked West Virginia Mountaineers. Game came down to the last 8 seconds when West Virginia's DeJuan Staten scored the last 2 points on a fast break. Staten ended the game with 20 points, going 50% from the field and 67% beyond the arc. Kansas was struggling with a fast-paced West Virginia defense, so Mountaineers scored the first 6 points of the game. Perry Ellis ended the game with 19 points, and Frank Mason had 13. The team is now 21-5 on the season and still number 1 in the Big 12. Their next game is against TCU and Allen Fieldhouse on Saturday. And now for the women. The Jayhawks have now lost 3 in a row after the loss to the Texas Longhorns with a score of 74-63. Chelsea Gardner and Asia Boyd were the leading scorers for the Lady Jayhawks, both of them having 16. Jayhawks were down by 1 at the half, but were outscored 45-35 in the second. The women's take on TCU tonight in Texas. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. Now for NCAA baseball. The Kansas Jayhawks baseball team traveled to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to face on the number 2 ranked team in the nation, LSU Tigers. 3-game series went to the Tigers as the Jayhawks lost all 3 games. First game was 4-1. The loss by the Hawks, only scoring 1 run in the 8th inning and having 4 hits throughout the entire series. 2 of them coming from second baseman Colby Wright. Second game loss went to junior pitcher Ben Krauth, who allowed 4 earned runs on the game. He totaled 74 pitches in the 8-5 loss. The third and final game ended with a score of 7-4. Jayhawks allowed 12 hits on the game, and LSU's 4 errors were not enough to lift the Jayhawks to a win. Score was 4-3 at the bottom of the 6th, but LSU's 4-run rally ended the hopes for the Hawks. Jayhawks are now 0-3 on the season, with their next opponent being Washington on the 19th, with the first pitch being thrown at 2 p.m. on Washington's diamond. Now in the NBA news, New York Knicks bought out Amari Stoudemire's contract. This is the last year of the 5-year contract for Stoudemire, and the contract is worth $99.7 million. The main goal was to clear up cap space to help kick off the Knicks' 2015-2016 season. Shortly after, Stoudemire was signed with the Dallas Mavericks on the 16th of February. Now on the NBA All-Star break, it occurred this weekend, which involved the Celebrity All-Star Game, Rising Stars Challenge, NBA Dunk Contest, 3-point contest, skills competition, and East versus West All-Star Game. The Celebrity All-Star Game ended up with the West defeating the East and Kevin Hart with the score of 57-51. Hart retained his 4th MVP title during the game, dropping 27 points. He was guarded by Little League All-Star Monet Davis. The NBA dunk contest was won by Minnesota Timberwolves rookie Zach LaVine. With his Space Jam theme, LaVine scored a perfect 50 in the first round and ended up knocking out Oladipo in the final competition as he received another perfect score. LaVine won his first contest for Sprite Slam Dunk at the age of 19. Now the Foot Locker 3-point contest was the most talked about as Stephen Curry broke the record for most points in a 3-point contest with 27. Curry came in hot and came out hot. So he dropped 13 threes in a row to retain the title against Kyrie Irving from the Cavs and fellow Golden State Warrior Klay Thompson. Best part of the All-Star break was the East versus West All-Star Game. The West took out the East with a score of 163-158. This was the highest scoring All-Star game ever, having 321 total points. Western Conference's Russell Westbrook was named the MVP of the game, scoring 41 points on the night and a record of 27 in the first half. He was 1 point shy of beating Wilt Chamberlain's All-Star game record of 42. Here's a post-game interview with the MVP, Russell Westbrook.
I mean, it's definitely an honor to be grouped with those 2 guys, especially in the All-Star game. Somebody told me, but at that
Now
time...
for the Major League Baseball. 2015 season is underway this week in MLB as pitchers and catchers are reporting to their teams as early as February 18th. 5 teams are reporting on the 18th, with the rest of the league reporting on the 19th and the 20th. Kansas City Royals pitchers and catchers will report on the 19th, and the team's first full workout will be on February 25th. Now after that, that's all I have for sports. And after the break, we have weather with Alden.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a live look outside at Daisy Hill, looking at the newly named Oswald and Self Halls, and the sun just came out the past few minutes too. We got some snow this morning. It didn't amount to much of anything, only about half an inch, but it's still a little bit of snow, and it's still winter. We might actually see some flurries later on today too, but first let's check out the almanac. Our high yesterday was only 25 degrees. Our average for this time of year is 45. Same thing goes for our low. We had a low of 13. The average for this time of year is actually 23. And all the way back in 1978, it was 70 degrees. So 70 degrees would be nice, but we're not going to see 70 degrees for quite some time. Here's a look at your Tuesday planner at 11 a.m., 26 degrees. I say it's cloudy, but the sun just came out, so I wasn't quite expecting that. So maybe we'll actually see some sunshine at some point today. 2 p.m., I'm pretty confident the clouds are going to stick around for most of the day. And then at 6 p.m. we might see some flurries, just flurries. It's not going to be a big snow or anything that's going to amount to anything significant. So if you're outside around 6 p.m. or so and you see some snowflakes falling from the sky, don't be too surprised. Here's a look at the next 5 days for you. Our high today is going to be 28 degrees. Wednesday, the sun comes out, but it's going to be a whole lot colder, only 18 degrees. And then our low on Wednesday is also going to be 8, but that's not even the coldest it's going to be all week. Look at Thursday morning, 0. We might even go below 0 on Thursday too, so it's going to be fairly cold, but the temperature on Thursday will be a little bit warmer with our high of 34 degrees. And then temperatures rebound just a little bit more, 37 on Friday, 35 on Saturday. There's a slight chance for some snow showers on Saturday as well, so we're looking at the possibility of seeing more snow coming up this weekend, but that's still a ways away, and that's something we're going to have to keep watching for you. That's your forecast for now. We'll be right back after the break.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back, guys. You saw us in the opening of the show. Now we're here at the end. So Lauren, it's Mardi Gras, and you know the one season you give up something for 40 days. So what are you giving up?
I'm gonna give up pop. You know, something not too healthy for you. So want to start drinking more water and milk. What are you giving up?
I'm also gonna go healthy here. I think I'm gonna give up late night eating because I study really late and I get hungry at like 1 or 2 in the morning. So I think I'm gonna give up late night eating. Plus, I won't get fat that way. So.
Okay, proud of you for that. Well, you know, last day for you to get all your partying out of the way, Mardi Gras.
I'm gonna party up tonight. Club going up on a Tuesday. So.
Well, as Alden said, gonna be chilly for the next at least week. So make sure you stay warm, bundle up.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I wasn't wearing a jacket last week, and I got sick over the weekend. So I definitely wear a jacket and a hat this week.
Smart idea. Yeah. Good week for Netflix and hot chocolate.
Definitely. So. All right, well, that does it for our show this week. We'll see you next week.